In this experiment, we are going to use variables and constants to control the speed of the spiral bolt. So before we move forward, we need to understand what are variables and what are constants. So a variable is a value that is considered changeable. So you can change the value of the variable all the time. For constants, they are values that are not changeable. If we are giving some examples to these two categories, so for example, I can say, hey, x is a variable, and y is a variable, and also z is also a variable. Okay? Can you say some examples of constants? For example, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. Okay? However, in computer programming, we can use different names of variables, not just the x, y, and z. You can name it whatever you like, but you have to follow the rules. So for example, do not start with a number or a symbol. So this is one of the most important rules when you are naming a variable. So for example, you can name it like var, which is fine. You can even use the underscore 1, because you may expect you are going to have several VARs. So I just name it var underscore 1 for now. So for the next one, I can name it as var underscore 2. Just something like this. Just do not start the name of the variable with a number or a symbol. All right? The way to understand variables in computer programming is something like this. You can consider a variable is like a box. And I name this box as var underscore 1. Okay? Since the value being held by this variable is changeable, I can put a 1 in there, or I can override it and put a 2 in there. Doesn't matter. So if I put a 2 in this box, then whenever I'm using var underscore 1, I'm actually using number 2. It's going to be the same effect. So for example, in spiral bolt, there's a function called set speed or something. Set speed as, right? Something like this. And if you say set speed as 2, okay, so it's gonna run the spiral bolt at the speed of 2. Right? So there's no unit for 2, it's just a value for this robot. And if you do this, var underscore 1, and you give a number to variable, be careful. So whenever you are seeing this in computer programming, it's not meaning equal. It means assign. So it's actually assigning the number 2 to this variable, which is exactly putting this number in this box. So whenever you are using this, you are doing a set speed var underscore 1, it is setting the speed as 2, exactly. It's the same effect. So if you do this or do this, the spiral bolt is going to run at the speed of 2. Let's practice on setting up variables in these program blocks. So go to programs and create. We need to create a new program, and let's name it as set speed, for example. And this time we are going to pick up bolt, because I think spiral is a previous version of the same robot. Let's just pick up this one and create. Okay, so before we create a variable, I'm going to just directly try to move the spiral bolt with a constant speed. Okay, I'm going to drag speed function over here to the function program and make, this function comes from this category, movements. If you cannot see this function, make sure you want to click this tag first. And now I'm going to set up this value to 100. I'm going to try to set up as close as 100, but it's not that accurate. It's not that easy to do this. But yeah, let's just keep it here, 100 and 101. And before you start the program, what you want to do is you want to calibrate your the direction of the spiral bolt first, because it doesn't know which direction is front, which direction is back, right? So you want to rotate. Press this push button and rotate the spiral bolt until you can see the blue LED. All right, let's see. All right, done. Perfect. And now, if we click start, it's going to move forward at a speed of 100. So there's no unit for this number. It just remember that 100 is going to run at this kind of speed. And if you change it, move it higher, it's going to run faster, So let's start it and you will see what's going to happen here. All right. We know it just moved forward. And if we change this number to a negative number, or you can just click this push button, it's going to change it to a negative 100, and it's going to come back. All right, so this is a constant. So you can use a constant number to drive your spiral bolt at a specific speed. And now let's try to use a variable. Come to variable, and I will create a variable, and let's name it as var_1, and it's going to be a number variable, and click OK. Let's drag this one to here, and we don't need this one anymore, but it's fine to keep it there since we're not using that. And now I'm going to set up the same speed for this variable. It's the same thing like you put this number in this box, and we are going to use that variable to drive the spiral bolt. And what do we want to put in here? You want to put a var_1, right? So you still have to go to variables, and here's a variable. Here's a box which has 100 inside, and you can drop and place into this function. And now if you run the program, so the spiral bolt will run at the same speed as it just ran before, okay? You'll see the same effect. And let's make sure the spiral bolt is going forward straight, so it's not going off the table. Again, this is just for demonstration, but when you are playing with a spiral bolt, I hope you are running this on the floor, on the carpet. Doesn't matter, but don't do it on the table, since you have a chance to fall off the table and get damaged. All right, and let's take a look and start. All right, now let's change the variable to negative 100. So it's going to come back, right? Make sure you put your mouse at this push button so you are ready to stop it when it's running, forever to anywhere.